everything, everything starts with mindset. So Terry Ann Porter tonight will be speaking on mindset. Terry Ann Porter stepped into technology career in 1980s. Yes, Terry Ann Porter was in technology when most women weren't in 1980. She assisted small business owners. She did bookkeeping processes, implemented computer systems. She did teaching. She taught people about software. You know what? Even when 2020 hit, you know what she did? She went right into her training and she set up a whole, if you are not following her on YouTube, follow her on YouTube. She set on a whole training on how to use Zoom. Do you remember 2020? It was a disaster. We all had to go online. Thank God for people like Terry Ann Porter. Terry Ann Porter is a trainer. She's certified as a life coach, and she also does coaching through in-person and online events. She teaches on defeating the lies of negative self-talk. Have any of you ever had some negative self-talk? Talk to Terry Ann. She currently is the co-host on Facebook Live with me, Sherry Ann. Actually, she's not the co-host. We host together conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann, and she is a co-host of this event today. What was the other thing? Oh, she also is a volunteer with the suicide prevention, and she does so much with them. And I think she's been involved with that the last 2 years. And when she's not doing all of that, she's collecting teddy bears. She's doing needle pointing. She's doing crafts. I know. She's logical and creative. Can you believe it? She's written 2 amazing books, Stitch in Christ and the Proverbs 31 Woman Work in Progress. And they're both available on Amazon. And I hope that she's going to drop that link later for us after she gets done speaking here. So let's welcome Terry Ann Porter on Mindset. Terry Ann Porter.
Thank you, Sherry. All right, let's hit the share screen, hit the right buttons. You know, technology only works sometimes. I have a pet peeve. Do you have one? If you wish, comment in the chat the pet peeve that you have. My number 1 pet peeve is being lied to. Something that easily offends me, turns me away from another person, is being lied to. I can't stand it. I feel it is the ultimate show of disrespect. Now, holding on to that belief, I would purposefully step away from anyone who made it a habit of lying to me. Until one day, standing at the mirror, I saw the face of that voice, that irritating voice that constantly is speaking unkind words of deceit to me. No, my husband was not standing behind me, peeking over my shoulders. It was me. I looked in the mirror, and suddenly those lies got really loud. Oops. Don't you hate it when it doesn't work? You know, no matter what you do, it won't be right. Have you forgotten all those screw-ups you made? Just yesterday, that slip of the tongue, girl? Give it up. I tried to look away, to think of something else when I heard it say, "You want to speak in front of all those women tonight. You want to be recorded on video? Look a little closer, girl. You don't have a face that should be in front of a camera. It may be a radio face, but don't go there. Your voice. Have you listened to a recording of your voice? Oh, stop!" The taunting went on and on as I stood there, paralyzed, looking at the one person who lied to me the most and who I could not get away from. Those lies. I believed them. I believed them for so long, I hid away so no one could see me. And because I believed them, I accepted the mindset that I was a failure before I even started. There was no sense in trying. Forget the finish line. Don't even approach the starting line. Can you relate? Drop a comment in the chat if you've ever felt like that. Research suggests that mindset is formed by the interaction of our habitual thoughts and the images and emotions that they elicit. From our experiences, we develop beliefs. And if these beliefs are repeated enough, they become truth to us. These truths then join together to form a mindset. Now, unfortunately, having a negative self-image is common among so many different types of people. We often compare our lives directly to the successes of others, and we don't always see ourselves as deserving of having good things. If you find yourself making personal put-downs, shying away from challenges, fearing to move forward for that fear of failure, you are not alone. Even the most polished and put together people have moments of self-doubt. It's a struggle that everyone faces at one point or another in their life. For some people, it can be incredibly difficult to embrace a positive mindset about themselves. Learning to change negative self-talk into a more positive perspective can work wonders in your life. When you swap negative habits for positive ones, you allow yourself to build a clearer mindset. And people who do so are able to approach life's problems and difficulties with the right kind of positivity to see themselves through the challenge. Learning to replace the negative self-talk lies with truth takes time, but it is possible to change your mindset and take control over how you view yourself and how you choose to build your future. As I stood there at the mirror, paralyzed by the taunting inner critic, I determined it was time. It was time to take a big step, to quit drowning in those lies of my negative self-talk. It was time to step into the mindset of truth. One thing I learned to acknowledge is whether you can believe that you can, believe that you can't, you are right. Because it all starts with mindset. The first thing I needed to do was take a close look at the thoughts that I generate. Taking every thought captive, I began to pay attention to my thoughts and self-talk. As I explored this idea, one of the first things I learned was that many people, despite enjoying peace and happiness, tend to linger on negative thoughts. For example, if someone wrongs or disappoints you, you may find yourself dwelling on the negative feelings and fallout for days afterward. When something terrible or tragic happens to someone else, you may linger on the news reports and other media coverages of the event. Why do we hold on to this negativity bias when ultimately we want to be happier and more positive people? Research shows the main reason we focus on the negative is because the brain is more impacted by negativity than positivity. Here are a few examples of how this negativity may affect your daily life. You remember something mean someone said to you years ago. It ruins your day. We tend to remember critical feedback more clearly than the positive comments. Emotions and physical reactions are more extreme to the negative stimuli than the positive. Or perhaps you dwell on memories about an unfortunate event longer than you do on a happier one. According to Very Well Mind, this is a portal of mental professionals. They partner with the Cleveland Clinic. According to them, humans tend to accept negative information or news as truth more frequently than positive news. I found that very interesting, and this reflects so often on how well and how we look at ourselves. So consider this. You've worked hard on a project at work. You feel good about the end result. You've put everything you've got into it. Your manager and 5 coworkers comment positively. One person makes a negative comment or a snide remark. For many people, myself included, that one remark will completely overshadow all the others. You let that one negative comment change the way you feel about your work and yourself. Oh, that now begs the question then. If a negative response is a common natural setting for the human mind, how can you fight it? How can you develop a more positive mindset and truthful self-talk? One method, Kim touched on this earlier, is journaling. Now, I know people who cringe at that word. I hope you're not one of them. I've heard a number of excuses why someone cannot journal. Well, I cannot write very well. I don't have time. I wouldn't know what to write. Or someone might read it. I don't want anyone to read it. Let's explore these one by one. I can't write very well. So what? This isn't a novel that is going to be published. This is your thoughts, your feelings, frustrations, hopes, and dreams. It's already in your head. Get it out and on paper where you can see it in print. By the way, there are no grammarian police who will slap you on the wrist for misspellings. I don't have time. You make time for what is important to you. And you might have to stay away from social media for a little bit. Step away from computer work and sit alone for a few minutes with your favorite cup of tea or coffee. You found the time to attend the summit. Well, I wouldn't know what to write. My favorite answer to this one, just write. Don't even think about what you're writing. Write a letter to your former or future self. Jot down everything that comes into your head. Just write. You might be surprised what develops. And finally, to the fear that someone might read it. You can always hide it. Write and put it in a place no one else will see it. Do it when no one else is around. Another option that I use, destroy it. After you write it, shred it, tear it to pieces, burn it. I find this to be so helpful. It offers me a release of my emotions as I write, and then a symbolic letting it go when I destroy it. I know there are books and movies out there about finding mama's journals and blah, blah, blah. Personally, I don't believe the majority of journals will become made-for-TV movies. I am not a mental health professional, so I can only tell you this from personal experience. Journaling is a method of processing my inner feelings. If you want to share your journal, go ahead and share it. If you want to destroy it, destroy it. There are no rules to journaling. Now let's take this writing idea, though, to another level. How many of you ever had to sit in class and write, "I will not talk in class," 100 times? The purpose of this exercise, or punishment, whichever you want to call it, was to instill the message in your mind. Whoops. So what if you were to write 100 times some of these phrases? I am a good friend. Or I am always honest, even when I make a mistake. How about I can learn new skills quickly? I am really good at, and then insert a hobby or activity. I am proud of, and name an accomplishment you've made. Make a list of your qualities, post them as constant reminders. Now, another way to break through the negative self-talk and mindset is to laugh. One way I do this is to put on my little plastic princess tiara with pink fur on top and flashing lights. Now, I cannot help but smile when I put this on. And that smile, no matter how little, can tear a small hole in the negativity. That small hole can be made larger with each positive thought that passes through. My husband has been known on occasion to tell me it's time to go put on my tiara. Now, I understand that a princess tiara with flashing lights and pretty pink fur may not work for you. It doesn't have to do that. What will work for you? I encourage you to find that one thing that no matter what will bring a smile to the surface. Is it a teddy bear? Perhaps your pet. Maybe wearing a particular piece of clothing. Whatever it is, find it and use it. So let's look at some strategies that you can use to begin strengthening your mindset. Make a pros and cons list. This is a classic way to determine your reasons for saying yes or for saying no. Get the ideas written out. Compare them. Good reasons to say yes, good reasons to say no. See the parallels. Now, often you will realize that the reasons that you say yes will outweigh the reasons to say no when they're written out plainly in front of you. And it can also show you, though, some of your cons. You may be able to start to notice that some of your reasons for no are built around worry and irrational fears rather than reality. This method is a great way to begin building a healthy, positive mindset. It helps to get your thoughts and feelings out of your cluttered mind and into an organized format. This is a hard one for me. Accept the fact that things won't always be 100% under your control. Not being in control of a situation is incredibly scary. It can bring on the negative self-talk big time. Nobody likes to be in a situation where they don't have total control over what's happening. But this is also one of life's universal truths. Even the most successful people will find themselves in situations where they don't have control over how everything happens. This is normal. If you struggle with accepting that you can't have complete control, you can begin a path toward acceptance by maybe meditating or perhaps developing a mantra to help settle this fact of life into your thoughts. Maybe develop a mantra. Here's a few examples, but think what works for you. I can't always get my way. Some things in life are beyond my control. It's okay to not have total control. I can't control the situation, but I can control my reaction. To practice this, allow yourself to relax completely. Choose a setting, maybe a comfortable couch or bed, a darkened room, someplace where you can enjoy a few moments of solitude. And similar to the exercise of defeating self-lies where you were writing out 100 times, write your mantra 100 times or speak it out loud over and over again. Consider the weight of its meaning. After a while, these truths will begin to cement themselves into your way of thinking, making it easier to approach those new challenges with a mindset that you can say yes to something without being in total control of the outcomes. I know a few people have trouble with this. Allow yourself to dream big. Negative self-talk lies tend to make this rather tough, but it is an important milestone to cross. Often we limit ourselves to the confinements of our negative thinking and our mindset. You might think about a goal you'd like to meet and then immediately chase the thought away with all the reasons that it won't work. Allow yourself to dream so big that you can see it work. What are some of the possibilities? What are some of the pathways opening to make that dream work? Something else that's important to remember, dreaming is 100% free. It doesn't cost a dime. Spend time visualizing your dreams and pushing away negative self-defeating thoughts about yourself. During this time, change your course and reimagine your destiny any way you please with no limitations. Embracing self-acceptance can be really tough, but it is a crucial part of building a more positive mindset. Starting small by changing the perspective of yourself. That's going to reveal possibilities that get you on track of new pathways opening onto which you can proceed with a positive self-image and healthy mindset. Like any other habit that you want to develop, it will take practice. But over time, these baby steps will add up to big changes in your life. So then, what does it mean to have a positive mindset? Having a positive mindset opens the doors of possibilities in your life. When you approach life with a positive mindset, you are excited to take chances and try new things because you realize the benefits of accepting the challenge far outweigh the safety of saying no. A lot of factors, many of them centering around that darn negative self-talk lie, they tempt us to shy away from saying yes to opportunities and chances to make big life changes. There's safety behind saying no. If you don't take the chance of something new, you take away the chance of failure. You won't get hurt. You might not lose something in the process. However, when you don't say yes to new opportunities, you are also shutting off pathways to growth, rewards, and experiences. Oh, wait a minute, Terry Ann. Are you saying I should say yes to everything? Absolutely not. Deep down, we know there are some opportunities where saying no is the right decision. We can trust our gut feelings and instincts in these moments to keep us safe. But have you ever said no to an opportunity and then felt a nagging feeling that you probably should have said yes, even if it would involve risk? This is often the result of negative self-talk mindset. A healthy mindset doesn't mean you have to agree to do every little request that comes your way. Instead, it means you feel good about yourself and you trust yourself to make solid decisions. And you say yes to opportunities that will challenge you and help you grow as a person. Someone with a healthy mindset knows themselves well enough to say yes to opportunities that will benefit them, teach them something, and support them as growing individuals. People with healthy self-talk and positive mindsets have some commonalities. They will often understand themselves and accept themselves for who they are. They will approach opportunities as a chance to learn something new and to gain fresh experiences. They can identify positive reasons to say yes, even when there are reasons to say no. Yet they know that setting limits is important. So saying no is sometimes the right response. People who embrace a positive mindset can enjoy many wonderful benefits. If you spent a great deal of time approaching your life with negative self-talk lies, making the change to self-talk truth and a healthy mindset, that's going to feel awkward at first. But over time, you'll begin to experience positive changes brought on by your adoption of this mindset. For example, you'll feel yourself relax a little bit. People who spend time focused on life through the negative self-talk lies often feel a lot of stress because of it. When you spend time building an internal environment full of worry and stress and fear, it can cloud your whole attitude and make it hard to relax. Once you've begun to replace negative self-talk with truth, you'll feel the clench of worry start to loosen. It may not be immediate, but you'll train yourself to approach more aspects of your life and yourself with positivity and a forward-thinking attitude. You'll break down barriers that you unintentionally placed around yourself. It's strange to think that people can create some of their own biggest and toughest barriers, but it's true. When you have a negative attitude about yourself and your capabilities, you impose serious limits on your ability to meet goals and achieve success. Taking time to change to a positive mindset is not only a kindness to your current self, but also to your future self. When you begin to approach more aspects of your life positively, you can begin to see the reality around those big self-imposed barriers holding you back you didn't even realize were there. You'll become an inspiration and joy for others. People who aren't afraid to accept themselves and reach for their goals are like beacons of light. Surrounding yourself with other like-minded, positive people is a great way to give yourself and your whole body a boost. In the same fashion, you can serve as a much-needed boost to others in your life. As you spend less time in negative company, you may be surprised to realize how much influence you will have among those negative folks when you are there. They're going to pick up on your positive mindset. You can be an inspiration to them. But remember, you also need to make sure to stay around enough positivity for your self-care. You will find peace in being truly and authentically yourself. A common root of negative thinking lies in comparing yourself to others. In a world of so-called reality TV and social media, where updates and happy news are constantly posted, it's tough to see all the great things going on in your friend's life and nothing going on in yours. Embrace a healthy mindset. It gives you a chance to push your negative feelings aside and seek your own slice of happiness, especially when it concerns feeling better about yourself. When you work toward building a positive mindset, you're learning to tell yourself yes more often and to accept yourself the way you are, acknowledging your value and self-worth. So rather than constantly worrying and surrounding yourself with negative thinking, you allow yourself peace in adopting a more confident approach to the way you think about yourself. But mostly, you'll accomplish more than you ever imagined possible. People with positive mindsets aren't afraid to open life's doors for themselves. When you drop your negativity, you begin to approach different opportunities with a fresh perspective and an eagerness to try something new, even if it includes a chance of a risk. Often people will shed their negativity and begin looking at opportunities through the lens of positive self-talk truths and a healthy mindset. Then they realize many of the goals they once thought impossible for themselves, very doable. Rather than seeing everything first through a lens of disaster, people with a healthy mindset approach opportunities as ways to improve, to challenge, and to reward themselves. Now, when I look in the mirror, I no longer see eyes of fear and failure. I look deep into the eyes of self-respect, of believing in myself, and focusing with a mindset of strength. Change is not easy, and it won't happen overnight, but it will happen over time. It all starts when you choose to take the first step and then do so. Are you ready? It's time to defeat the lies of negative self-talk and to create a new mindset by changing your perspective, revealing possibilities, leading to new pathways opening onto which you can choose to proceed with a mindset of truth and self-awareness.